This video is brought to you by Roguedeckbuilder.com. Purchase a playmat today and help us make the move to our new studio. We have over 10 playmats to choose from. Visit Roguedeckbuilder.com. Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with match number 2 with our Domri send-off, our farewell to Domri deck. Yes, we like to play first. Beautiful hand, but all one-landers are beautiful hands. There's no way I can keep this. We're going to have to mulligan it. If there was 2 lands here, this would be ideal. This would be an amazing hand if any one of these would have been a land. We'll mulligan here. This is okay. We got a Gorgon's Head. We draw into no way to actually cast blue, so is it static caster at this point? Wouldn't be the greatest thing. Our opponent has to go down to 6-2, so at least we have a fair game. We'll go ahead and throw out the Elvish Mystic. And can't quite do a turn 2 Courser. But we can actually do a Mystic and a Temple of Abandon. And if we do draw into just a shock land or a basic land, we can actually go for that turn 2 Courser. Looks like we're going to get Thoughtseize, though, most likely on first turn, or an Elf of his own is going to come out. And this will probably determine whether it's going to be Mono Black Devotion or Jund Planeswalker. Probably Jund Planeswalker. So we have a pretty decent hand. That actually makes it a lot better. As we can Courser here, and again, subsequent lands off the top we can actually just put into play. And there's a Breeding Pool. Unfortunately, that's going to go to the hand. So getting a little bit flooded with lands. But all in all, we should be pretty decent. If we can get our buddy Domri, if we can get in as a Staticaster at this point. Staticaster against Jund Planeswalkers is decent because of its Xenagos. Oh, good old Dredge. I haven't seen this deck for a while. Alright, that changes things. So Hornet's Nest is on top. Gonna be a good card to... He's got to now have a way to get through the Hornet's Nest. He does have Trample through a Clot with the Troll. But I think at this point, do we want Hornet's Nest on top? I think we do, so we'll just put Breeding Pool. And... let's see if we... Yes, then we can... get in for 2 damage on him. I think that's actually better, because then we can go Gorgon's Head. And equip it. And then put out a Mystic. And then get in for 2. So he's down to a 16. He's going to start filling up that graveyard. Deathrite Shaman and a Swamp. So 1 creature in the graveyard. Again, this deck wants to put as many creatures as possible into the graveyard and then get out quick. Worms, or they're snakes actually, the snake that gets less for each card in the graveyard. We'll go ahead and take 2, that's fine. Our ability to gain life at this point is a bit better than his, unless he's got like a Whip of Erebos. We do have to worry about Herald of Torments. There's nothing we can really interact with Herald of Torments. Is a Staticaster here wouldn't be very... Well, it'd actually get rid of the Nyx Weaver because we do have the combo here. I think that Hornet's Nest is fine, and I think I'm going to scry away the Courser Crucifix. And then we can, yeah, that's a much better card. Chandra can start wheeling down those pesky elves. Next turn. Even though it's getting more creatures in the graveyard, but at this point, again, we just need to control his ability to ramp out like crazy. Shadowborn Demon is going to kill the Courser Crucifix. That's okay, because what we're actually going to do, I think we're going to hit our own Hornet's Nest with Chandra. That gives us a blocker. for his Shadowborn Demon. Now he's got to find some way to remove the insect. So here he's going to be able to kill. He wants to hit, no, 2 creatures. He still has to sacrifice a creature. I guarantee Mystic's going to die here. Yep. He does take out a Mystic to keep his Shadowborn Demon, and a Night Howler and a Lava Troll. Very lucky for us that those don't go in his hand. Those are actually 2 cards that are very problematic for us to deal with. And 3 cards in hand, he's got to go for the insect. Otherwise, okay, it's a whip. Whip is okay. And yeah, we'll definitely make that trade. He's going at Chandra. So we'll take out the pesky 5/6 flyer. And this will allow us to kill off another Mystic. And he's getting quite a bit of cards in his graveyard. But at this point, I think we're fine. There's a Caryatid. Now, I think we'd rather exile the top card of our library rather than kill an elf or make it a dude. And Chandra's going to allow us to keep drawing cards. We'll definitely cast that. It's another Hornet's Nest. And then the Caryatid can come out. Or we can just equip a Death Toucher. I think equipping a Death Toucher is a little bit better on a Mystic. And now he's got to deal with 2 Hornet's Nest. Tunic's Weaver's in the graveyard. That can actually get back. He can exile. Okay, that's only from play. So that was a pretty good interaction. So he's going to whip in a Night Howler. Or Shadowborn Demon, excuse me. Yeah, I guess that was the right play would have been me to shock off a Hornet's Nest. Because now he's going to be able to kill off Chandra. And kill off a Hornet's Nest. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about the Shadowborn Demon. Killing off Chandra. But the demon is now exiled, gone for good. We got to worry about that Night Howler. Keranos is nice. We'll definitely throw this guy out. See, Nyx Weaver's going to keep giving him fuel for his whip. He's going to Grizzly Salvage even more. Takes a night. What did he take? Just a tomb? Put Satyr Wayfinder, so he's definitely going for as many things in the graveyard as possible. I wonder what his one other card in hand is. We get another Mystic and a Grizzly Salvage, so his creature count is very high. Maybe it's Jared. I do have to worry about Jared. It's going to be another Shadowborn Demon. Ay, ay, ay. And this one's going to take out the other Hornet's Nest. So, that sucks. See if we, like, Ooze would be the best draw. So we do have things to do. And Nemesis Immortals. Nemesis Immortals it can't really attack in. But the Shadowborn Demon is going to be very hard. A Domri is going to be nice. We can take out a Shadowborn. Keranos draws us an extra card. Hopefully it's not another land. It's a Courser, which hopefully can stabilize us a little bit. We'll put out the Caryatid again. We have definitely a lot of outs here. With the deck. He's down to 0 cards. Again, he's going to continue to exile. So he's kind of on a clock with his Weaver until he decides to get rid of it to get back. Actually, all he needs to do is just, yeah, he's just going to chuck a Night Howler back into his hand. And then is that going to be game? So unfortunately, we don't have more oozes to put from our sideboard, but we have so many. We have a lot of ways to actually interact with this deck. This is gonna go down as a loss. The Shadowborn Demons get us. Really, the one card we need to worry about. So cards in this deck, Museum Orders isn't good. Turn and Burn isn't very good. Mistcutter Hydra, Primeval Bounty. Primeval Bounty's not very good. I kind of like Wasteland Viper. It's another card he's got to deal with. And with the ways for us to make it fight his one big creature, it might be worth it. And maybe Keranos, even though this is a grinding match, is the right card to take out. I think that's the only change I make, is bringing in the Wasteland Vipers. Now what we need to do is just hit an ooze, and exile, 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 and then we should be in a great position. You know, now I'm thinking about Museum Orders isn't too bad because we can get rid of early either Ramp or Nyx Weavers. Yes, I'd like to play first. This keepable hand, we have this basically the same hand before. I'm going to keep it because it does have some nice little interactions. Again, a second turn, potential second turn Courser Crew Fix. Actually, it is going to be a second turn Courser, for sure. Or I could go a second turn Caryatid. Now, it's just going to be get the Courser out. And with the Citizen Tactics is exactly what we wanted beforehand, especially with a Gorgon's Head. That means that any Caryatid can actually be used, hooked up with a Gorgon's Head to kill anything he puts out. I don't think he quite goes for Lot Literal here quite yet. It's going to be ultimate price on the Courser, which is it's definitely okay because it makes our Hornet's Nest. But I think that just more mana ramp is the way to go. Hornet's Nest can come out when he actually has a relevant thing to fight. So there's a Night Howler, it's just a 1/1. I think we might want to kill that off. I'm not sure. He's definitely baiting that. We can wait. We can definitely wait. I think the right play is just going to be throw out the Hornet's Nest and then pass the turn. So it's a Night Howler on a Night Howler. Which now this gets kind of interesting because Citizen Tactics killing off one Night Howler. Nah, that doesn't really work. We're going to Temple here. Put that on bottom. And put out another Hornet's Nest. And eventually, let's draw into that ooze. Let's dig and dig and dig. See if a Shadowborn Demon comes out here. Again, a demon isn't the scariest thing at this point. It's going to be a Nyx Weaver. Going to find him a lot of ammo. So we might need to actually kill both Night Howlers. Another Hornet's Nest. Didn't want to... Let's see. So if I give Death Touch to a Hornet's Nest, and then we can set us in Tactics 2 of them. Or do we wait one more turn and then... Where do we go from there? I think we just go for another Hornet's Nest. Because none of these cards are too... Now we put an equip on a Hornet's Nest because we're going to be wanting to do it next turn for sure. But this is getting quite scary with the Nyx Weaver. Hope he misses here. He does miss. 2 Grizzly Salvage. That's absolutely the worst thing he could have put in his graveyard. He wants those. Feeling like a Shadowborn Demon, yeah, is going to come out here. I would kill an elf, in all honesty. But this is going to be beautiful. Because now I'm going to be able to kill off basically everything. We kill off Night Howler. Night Howler comes back into play. We can fight that off. It'll become a 4-4. It'll become a 2-2. 3-3. So let's see if we can do this. How many we can... That actually killing off the Gorgon's Head one was pretty problematic. We can give 2 more things the ability to fight. Basically 1 more thing. So what does he kill here? He kills off a... Yeah, we can do this at any time. So I think we just pass the turn. And make him actually sack something here. Give us some options. So he kills off a Night Howler. And a Whip goes in the graveyard. So he's getting very unlucky with the cards that are getting milled. And I think at this point, we could fight the Night Howler, put in a dude, block, and he'd really be behind. Or fight the Nyx Weaver, actually. No, then in response, he could exile it. So, how can I kill... We're definitely going to make the Hornet's Nest fight something. The Death Touch one. And then the normal one can fight. And then we can block. I think this is the best use of mana here. Is we set us in tactics both the Hornet's Nest and make him exile the Weaver right now. Unless he's got, again, if he's got removal in his hand, we're in pretty terrible position after that. Which is pretty likely in his deck. Abrupt Decay's Ultimate Price, even a Hero's Downfall at this point would work. But what I want to do here is with the Death Touch one, I want to fight the Nyx Weaver. That way my Hornet's Nest survives, and it will force him to exile. So Hero's Downfall, okay, on the Hornet's Nest. But I could fight just the Nyx Weaver, and it'd give me 2 dudes. And I could block 1 for the Shadowborn Demon. Or I could fight the Shadowborn Demon and get an obscene amount of... I think that just fighting this is fine. Fighting the Nyx Weaver. And then just blocking off the Demon. Or I could just take 5 here, and then next turn he's sacking off even more creatures. I think that's actually the right play. Yep, We're going to go down to 12. I'm going to make his demon really, really... kill off his... his other creatures. But stacking wise, let's see, one creature, there's no way even with the Nyx Weaver that he can get enough cards in the graveyard. And yep, now he's got to decide what to kill. Any of these targets are pretty bad for him. He wants a Night Howler. And he does decide to just go with the Weaver. So now we're in great shape. Don't want to hit into that Mystic. That's... this point with drawing all of our ramp cards is not ideal. And again, I block now. We've got enough value out of it. Basically took 5 life last turn to make him get rid of a Weaver. And he's got a huge 7/7 Night Howler. And a Nemesis Immortal and what other shenanigans he has in his hand. No way but to get back his whip so far. He's got to have another Weaver to do so. And just another regular Night Howler. So he's going to go for maybe like an Alpha Strike. Killing off all of my either Hornet's Nest or whatnot. But wow, he just actually scoops here. Because he sees Chandra on top. Chandra's going to be able to ping, 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 ping. He's not even close to dead. Hate people that just give up. We'll go to the sideboard here. Again, I don't think they either turn and burn. Mizzy Mortars does get a little more interesting because it can kill off the Nyx Weavers. But that's about all it can kill. I think that we just stick with this list. And again, I'm going to keep this. Double Hornet's Nest seems very good against him. Haven't seen any Domris. Haven't seen any Oozes, but we're definitely going to keep this. It's got 1 Scryland. Ideal mana. We definitely have a really good mana base here. No ramp, though, so these Hornet's Nests are going to come pretty late. But no first turn Mystic on his part either, so we'll see what we draw into. Boros Reckoner is going to be kind of cool, but we can't cast it. So we'll just Temple here. That's the one problem with this deck. I think that we kind of... I'm going to just let me naturally get into other red sources to cast the Boros Reckoner. But it's kind of funny with Boros Reckoner, it can be lethal. If I can make it fight a really, really big creature, that's lethal damage. And there's a Citizen Tactic. So, again, Breeding Pool can come into play tapped. Slow start for both of us. See if a Nyx Weaver comes out here. He should have a 3-drop, either a Night Howler. No, Night Howler doesn't work, but Satyr Wayfinder. He does find an Overgrown Tomb, gets a Shadowborn Demon, a Whip, and a Law of the Troll. Again, those are pretty ideal ones we want in the graveyard. As those are the ones he wants to be casting. Pretty nifty little card there. I think what we're going to do, since we already played a land, is we'll just Hornet's Nest here. And that way, the Hornet's Nest can eat a removal if he has a removal. I hate to run removal in Dredge because then you get so diluted with cards. Yep, he can attack in now. That does save us some. So now what we do is this can actually has the potential to get a land off the top. It is a Staticaster. That card's not the greatest. Oh, actually that card is the greatest because we have the Gorgon's Head. So we'll Breeding Pool here. And if we get this combo out, the Gorgon's Head plus his Staticaster, we can lock him out. I mean, he does have more Shadowborn Demons. He has ways to get back at Shadowborn Demons. But that should be a nice little lock. Yeah, Bile Blight on the Hornet's Nest. That's fine, because we have another one in hand. That's actually really cool that he's using that. So he could Night Howler onto his guy and swing in for 5 or 4. And that's a decent play. Yep, that's what I thought I was going to go. So, a little bit of a clock, but I mean, next turn, ideally what we want to see is a land after we draw the Staticaster. Then we can get, of course, more value. And there it is. So Forest can come into play. We'll gain a life. We'll Gorgon's Head here. And no use. Well, again, we're going to be flashing in the Staticaster end of turn. So we're not going to do anything else with our mana. This is basically just... And he knows I have a Staticaster. Yeah, he absolutely knows that I have it. So... see if Demon comes out here. Shadowborn Demon. That's going to be pretty sweet. He does kill off the Courser or Crewfix, making his dude bigger. But now what we're going to do is we're going to be able to flash in the... Ouch. This is actually going to hurt a little bit. Maybe I should have just Hornet's Nest there. No, because then he would have killed that. So we'll go on to the end step here, and I will flash in the Staticaster. Now we can actually throw out a Hornet's Nest and ping it. But if he has any other removal, that's not the greatest. But I still think that's the right play. Unless... So, I can't... Yeah, I don't have enough mana to actually equip and use a Citizen Tactics. I kill a Satyr Wayfinder, it makes him... makes me dead to another Night Howler. So what I do here is I equip the Staticaster. This way I can't ping my own dude now, but on his upkeep after this triggers, that's when I kill a Shadowborn Demon. Unless he has removal for the Staticaster right here, which he does not, and he still has to sacrifice his dude. So he sacrifices the Satyr Wayfinder. And now he's down to just a Night Howler, which he can't really, hopefully can't really attack into the Hornet's Nest. Here's Downfall on the Hornet's Nest, so he's going to be able to attack in for 7. I don't know if I agree with that because I still have the Staticaster. But I'm down to a 6, so Jared's starting to look very lethal. And he completely misses with the Grizzly Salvage. Oh, he does find an Elvish Mystic. So it goes up to an 8/8. And I'm down to a 5. Temple Epiphany is going to be nice because it allows me to draw. Or allows me to cast a Boros Reckoner. Which again, Boros Reckoner on a Night Howler can be lethal. And I'm going to use this as a Staticaster right now, not give him the chance to draw into any sort of removal. Get rid of the Night Howler, and then he will have the mana to actually cast stuff and like cast a whip, activate it, yada yada. So Night Howler's going to die here. We should be decent against like another Shadowborn Demon. Yeah, I just think you have to Hero's Downfall the Staticaster. Citizen Tactics plus Gorgon's Head with Boros Reckoner means I can kill 2 things at any given time. As Death Touch will trigger, I believe, twice off the Boros Reckoner when it redirects the damage. It is the source of Reckoner. Boros Reckoner would have Death Touch at the time. I believe that's how it works. It might actually read afterwards and check the board state, and then Boros Reckoner technically isn't equipped. I don't know. That's a weird little question. Maybe we'll find that out. If what I'm trying to say here, if it's Citizen Tactics, if I use Gorgon's Head equipped to Boros Reckoner, Citizen Tactics kills off whatever I target with the Boros Reckoner, and the Boros Reckoner happens to die, and then the redirect damage from Boros Reckoner, I wonder if it has Death Touch or not. We'll have to check and see. Weird little... That is why I'm not a judge. Lots of tricky little questions. And literally all we have to draw into is an ooze, and this game is over. He's blown the Bile Blight, the Hero's Downfall. I might have an ultimate price, but if I grab an ooze this turn, we then exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get 5 things out of his graveyard, which is almost his entire graveyard. Get all his pertinent threats. Leave him with like a Wayfinder. What is he? Actually, he only has in his graveyard right now an 8/8, 1, 2, 3. So he does have 5. So where are they? He's got the Satyr Wayfinder 1, Shadowborn Demon 2, Law of the Troll 3, Shadowborn Demon 4. Alright, so unfortunately it looks our opponent disconnected here. Let's just see what we would have drawn here. Gorgon's Head would have been redundant. We would have scried that away, actually. And then his Carriage Head would have definitely been redundant. And actually, he was in pretty good shape. We have a bunch of duds for quite a while. I don't know if the Boros Reckoners will actually get us there. We needed another fight card besides Citizen Tactics to probably keep us in this game. We have a Domri quite a few cards down, another Staticaster. Yeah, very redundant cards coming up. What we needed to see is that ooze, which apparently doesn't exist. There it is. Clear down's our first ooze. So anyway, I don't know. Could have gone either way. What I would have ended up doing was Staticastering off the Night Howler, and then he had to draw into removal. Otherwise, Staticaster was just going to continue to control the board. With backup with Boros Reckoner, double Boros Reckoners, with the threat of fighting a huge Night Howler or Jared on my side of the battle with instant speed, it could have been pretty lethal pretty quickly. So anyway, we'll go on to one more match. We'll do 3 matches with each of these top 10 lists, and then call it good. This has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.